Another tournament only could mean one thing: more trouble. What's up, degenerates? It's the disc golf world. I'm Jefferson, and alongside me, the one with all the holes in his game, Swiss Cheese, breaking down everything you need to know from the Kansas City Wide Open. We're gonna pick it up right where we left off at the Music City Open. I mean, I hope one day we can watch a disc golf tournament with no weather problems. Unfortunately, for this time, the entire event wouldn't be played. The final round would only consist of the first 9 holes. That decision was made after 2 weather delays and really wanting to get some type of third round completed. This event, of course, resulting in cutting the back half out, which left some players in weird positions. Just go ask Braden Sides, or maybe he'll talk about it in his next recap. His 6 under final round pushing him back into the cash would be taken away. That does suck, but I think most of us are on the same page that overall, the 9 holes was a good idea. So this does bring the idea of extending final rounds to Monday in case of situations such as this. CEO of the Disc Golf Pro Tour Jeff Spring made a post regarding this possibility earlier in the month, stating that as of right now, it's a no, but that they are currently working with the pdga to have a policy that could allow play on a preceding day if play is not able to be completed. He does say there are other complications, but thinks they'll get there eventually. However, no timeline as of right now. Let us know in the comments if this is a rule you'd like to see added. Another talking point I saw on social media everywhere I looked was the DGPT needing to add a cut line for all events. The argument being that you would be able to get through the course faster and not have to remove any of those holes. Even Gannon chimed in, saying that a cut after day 2 would solve this problem nearly every time. Gotta love it when the #1 disc golfer in the world turns into every fan shouting their $1 million ideas into the comments on Facebook. Not too much drama this weekend, which means Swiss, hit the people with the FPO recap.
Prepare yourself for a week's worth of comparisons between Holyn Handley and Kristen, who I guess we've gone back to calling her Lot now instead of Let. Quickly followed by those Lot lovers in the comments who will undoubtedly want to point out Kristen was not in attendance for the event, or most of the top Europeans for that matter. And don't mind them, they were the same ones counting what Kristen's score would be without hole 18 at Sprinkle Valley. You know, the last time where Holyn won. With Lot there no less. With her or without her in attendance, what Holyn has been able to put together on the season thus far is more than impressive. She's still riding a podium streak for 5 straight Elite Series events now. That has separated her from the rest of the pack not only in DGPT points, but as Lot's major competition in the eyes of the fans. Handley had such a good start in the event that it made Cat Merch's 245-foot highlight eagle throw-in a footnote on the day. Handley would birdie half the holes, crush the field off the tee on her way to a course record-setting 8 under. The 10:28 rated round gave her a 3-stroke lead over the field, a lead that she would only extend with a 6 under on the next day, a round that was only matched by Cadence Burge, who was following her best and first top 5 finish of her career at an Elite Series event, just 2 weeks ago at MCO. Around the same time where I told you guys to watch out for a Most Improved Player candidate performance from her this year, as she not only headed into her first final day lead card, but also tied for second with Ella Hansen at 10 under, in what was a career-defining moment for the former amateur champion from Alabama. The teenager would show early the spotlight of the DGN cameras, nor the poor weather would impact her game, hitting a 49-footer for birdie to steal a quick stroke from Holyn on hole 1. It really wouldn't get closer than that for the rest of the day, apart from when Holyn was in victory formation on 18, as she coasted to a controlled victory. Funny enough, reminiscent of what we often see from Kristen's prior victories. And that's taking an early lead through a commanding performance and coasting late from there. And though she may never have been in contention for the win, Cadence did do enough in the final round to turn plenty of heads herself. Shot a hot round final day 7 under for her first podium finish at an Elite Series event in her short career. A solo second place, finishing 3 strokes ahead of Ella Hansen. And guys, Don't Look Now is currently sitting in the top 10 in DGPT points, in 8th place no less. Hansen got her first podium finish since her Supreme Flight Open victory that kicked off the season, while also extending her top 10 finish streak for the year, right alongside Cat Merch. That and Hannah Wynn had her best finish at an Elite Series event in her career with a 7th place finish also. Now, let's just kick it back to Jefferson, who's still recovering from a 7-leg parlay this weekend.
Over on the MPO side, Gannon kicked off the event with 6 straight birdies, all within Circle 1. And he also wouldn't miss a single C1X putt the entire day, going 12 for 12. That would help him secure a 14 under 1095 first round, clearing the field by 6 strokes, and the course record by 2. It looks like all those comments asking where Buhr was finally got to him. He wouldn't slow down either, as he would put up another hot round on day 2 that would extend his lead to 7 strokes. However, this time it would be over Paul McBeth and Richard Wysocki. Okay, can someone please help Ricky change that shit? Joy Buckets, I'm looking at you. I'm not going to sit here and pretend the 3-time major winner and arguably best in the world that those two being on his card would add pressure he hasn't felt before. But still, this has to be some sort of moment in his career, facing off against the 2 phenoms that dominated the sport when Gannon was still coming up. He may have been a shoestrick fanboy, but in this era, it was impossible to ignore the legacy being left by both McBeth and Wysocki. With all that said, Gannon did make what seemed like his first mistake all tournament on hole 1 in the final round, missing his first putt inside the circle all tournament, and couldn't have come at a worse time, bouncing straight into the water, losing a stroke early. But don't worry, he still has 6 others to play with. After watching Paul's drive land in the circle, Buhr would be looking to match, although that would not pan out. Down on a knee, he was now faced with a tough approach to save par. Didn't look promising as he would land 50 feet short, but those are tap-ins for the Iceman. Must have scared McBeth as he would miss his putt short, not capitalizing on the opportunity. He would make up for it playing the par 4 to perfection, leaving him with a 4-foot birdie. Gannon found himself in trouble after a poor scramble shot, but the missed putt would be the dagger for the double bogey and 3-stroke swing. Not only for Paul, but Ricky as well, who was keeping pace. Moving on to hole 4 now, the lead shrunk to only 3 strokes with 6 holes to play. No one would give themselves an easy look for birdie. McBeth would even lay up. Actually, I don't want to say that since technically he called this a run, but with a drop off right behind the basket and holes still remaining, could be true. To be fair, the commentators even alluded to this being a match play move, forcing Buhr to make the putt. That's what was said at least, but I don't think that would be the smartest move by Paul. Although it did end up working since Gannon missed the putt off the band. Headed to another par 4, this one needing a tight forehand to push through the small gap, kind of like how Paul demonstrates perfectly on his drive. After watching that, Buhr would match with his own forehand smash, pushing it further up the fairway. With trees everywhere, McBeth decided to go up and over, nearly spiking it into the chains and nestling up for an easy birdie. Too bad for him, Gannon would set himself up for a birdie and nailed it with ease. This next shot goes out to everyone who calls Buhr boring. Obviously, I'm talking his second shot in hole 6 where he gets down on a knee and somehow misses all the shit in the Forbidden Forest like some fucking wizard. Now completely shell-shocked, Paul needed to match to stay in contention. Yeah, that wouldn't happen. But hey, that's why I said he was shell-shocked. Not only because he's a massive Ninja Turtles fan, but because I was giving an excuse for whatever the hell that was. Gannon completed the birdie for a 2-stroke swing and what appeared to be a walk-in victory after a beautiful drive to park hole 7. It was like ending with a fatality after a flawless victory. And to cap it off, he took 0 seconds to throw his final drive, possibly the fastest he's ever gone on his turn. And with that, he would take down his first win of the 2025 season. Finally, took him long enough, am I right? Ricky ended his round with 3 straight birdies to push up into a solo second place just over Paul. Also gotta give huge props to Gavin Rathbun for his 4th place. If you're not a fan, hop on the train now. Just saying. And that's everything you need to know from the Kansas City Wide Open, the last event before the first major, Champions Cup. Don't miss out on everything in the meantime by smacking that subscribe button. And shout out to everyone over on the Patreon for continuing to support us 2 goofballs. Episode 3 of the exclusive Unfiltered podcast is out now, only on the Patreon.